Hi everybody, tonight we're going to look at the CHENYU, what's it called? Well, on AliExpress it's called the CHENYU Composite Linkage, so you could search for that. And the reason I'm talking about it is because it's available on Amazon now for the same price pretty much. But on Amazon, you can find this by searching for dual bearing spinner, and that's DUAL as in dual bearing spinner, and that'll bring this up eventually. It is made by CHENYU. That's what's actually etched on the button here, and that's how it's advertised on AliExpress. And that's what I'm going to go by. I'm calling this the CHENYU Composite Linkage. I think they call this linkage. You know what? Before we get into it, let me explain why I'm talking about a spinner. I have lots of spinners. I just found this to be worthwhile, especially because it was on Amazon. I bought this one on Amazon quite a while ago, I guess. But I just noticed recently that this CHENYU from the same company slider was available now on Amazon. And the wait time on both of these is only 10 days. And it turns out, I think when I was talking about this, I said that the price would be cheaper on AliExpress. I'm not 100% sure about that. It's 80 bucks. This is 80 on Ali. I don't know what you'll find it on Amazon for, probably a little bit more. But this is about the same price, whether you get it on Ali or Amazon. So around $95 is what the going price on Amazon is right now. But you'll get it in 10 days instead of 20 to 25. You know, I think that's more reasonable. I think the estimate I made in the previous video was a little shorter. Most of my packages are coming around 20 to 25 days right now, and that's always up in the air with the health issues and whatnot. So it's a linkage, and I think in China they generically use that term for spinners that are like this, linkage, where there's this new design idea of dual bearings. I don't know how new it is. I'm sure other people have done it. I know I've seen it before, but this was affordable and I liked it. It comes with a bunch of balls that you can put on the inside, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. Let me bounce back again why I'm talking about this. Like I said, I have a lot of spinners, but I never felt compelled to talk about them on video like I do fidgets, haptic designs and sliders and push coins and things like that. Everything I like in the fidget world or the haptic world, I like things that are very mechanical. And this comes out into a whole bunch of pieces, and we're going to take it apart. That way you'll know how to take it apart. And we're going to put the balls in. Right now there are no balls in it. So we're going to find out what it's like with balls in. So that's the interesting thing about it. You can start and stop the inside and outside separately. There's a larger bearing on the outer ring here and a small R188 for the middle part. And I imagine with the balls in there, that probably helps this outer ring and the middle ring make a connection or a linkage, and will help them spin or attach to, catch up with each other a little bit better. What's nice about this one is when you go to spin it, at least when I go to spin it, and I think that was probably designed this way, is you can catch both of these with the same finger. So when you're giving it a good flick, now that won't work with flicks like this, but I'm talking about a pull. So when you're going to pull back on it, you can catch both of those rings at the same time, and then they're both spinning at the same rate. So I can stop that one and let it be brought back up to slow speed by friction on the outside. You can also make it go backwards for a little bit until it goes forwards again. So it'll be interesting to put the balls in this and see what it does. Let's get right down to it. This, I don't remember what kind of package it came in, but I know both this and the slider came with a little sticker here. Some of you care about that. I don't really care about that sort of thing. And here are the accessories, which were just a bunch of balls. And you know what? We'll get those out in a minute. Let's go ahead and take this apart. So we'll start with the buttons. They're the usual So these buttons are actually, with the exception of the engraving, they're the same. Some people don't like that style. There's a, yeah, see there's a grub screw in the middle. So be aware of that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just a perfectly good shortcut for manufacturing buttons. It's a lot easier to do 2 of these than to do a threaded female and male. So now we have the inside exposed. Get up close here to the camera. You can just see the R188 in there, and you really can't see the other bearing at all yet. But the next step is going to be to take, there's 2 pinholes here in this outer ring, or this ring that I'm pointing at, and we're going to take that apart. And you know what just dropped to the floor? I heard something drop, and that's what it was, exactly what I needed. The tool to take it apart. So this comes with the tool, and we're going to kind of explore this together. I had the outer one off the other day. I had this off the other day, and I just did it with my fingertips. So a little retention ring there, and then we have a top piece, and now everything slides out. So this can be, we'll take that apart next. That's where the R188 bearing is retained. But now that we're at this point, we could, if you wanted to, you could walk around, use this as a ring spinner, although it's a little small. So you have to have pretty small fingers. Like well, I got past my knuckle there. I'd be okay with that. Although I typically don't use my ring spinners as ring spinners because they also convert to regular spinners with buttons. I do like ring spinners though. The more functionality and modularity in any haptic for me is just the more the better, because I like these things to be mechanically interesting. So there we got the outer ring. That one's threaded pretty well. There we go. It's fairly deep. And here we have a nice little bearing. This is stainless steel. There's an engraving here, a laser etching, CHENYU SUS number 280. Doesn't say how many of that total was made, but of course that doesn't mean much. There's a little bit of a cobweb in there. So let's go backwards now. Well, you know what? We're not quite done yet. Let's go ahead and finish off this part. I was going to say, let's go put it back together, and we'll put the balls in. We'll do that in a minute. In just a minute. Got a nice retention ring. Bearing can be replaced. This looks like a sealed R188. I believe it's an R188. I haven't really checked it, but it looks like one. God only knows what this is. I'd have to look it up. Okay, so now we're going to go in reverse order, but we're going to add the little steel balls. Ah, look at that. I put the ring in upside down. That would be acceptable, except I can't tighten it down as much as it should be. Because, oh, geez and rice. You need these little grooves. So always be careful threading stuff in too. Do it lightly, slowly. Maybe do it backwards until you feel a little click, and then start to go forward. The last thing you want to do is strip your threads or get your threads cross-threaded. It's a heartbreaker. And there's no way you're going to fix it. Okay, so that's snug. When I tighten things too, there's 2 classifications. There's factory tight and finger tight. I like to do things finger tight. That way if I'm out in the field and I need to take this apart, I'll get it apart. I don't like to use Loctite on anything unless I absolutely have to. So, next step, let's put this part back together. We'll need this ring. Being careful not to put it in upside down. Well, you can't. There's a little countersunk groove here, so it won't go in the other way. So we'll go ahead, plop that puppy back on there, and a little snap. Okay. It's nice that this tool covers all the bases. I have a FEGVE spinner that comes apart, and it came with a special wrench just like this. It's got lots of parts that need that. So the next step is to put this on, and then we're going to be dropping some balls. There we go. We got that back together. Now, I know there's 3 larger balls and a bunch of smaller balls. Definitely 3 larger balls for here, here, and here. I've seen that in the pictures and videos. Now, they didn't show what to do with the smaller ones, but one of the photos just mentioned that they can be used inside here, so they must be for these larger grooves here. So let's go ahead and we'll just drop these puppies in here. And you know what we could do too? We'll go ahead and put this back on. There's no, we can't do that yet. This goes on and then this goes on. I got a little distracted there. So yeah, once this goes on, we won't have access to these little pockets anymore where we're putting the balls right now. So we don't want to put that on yet. Start over here. So put one there, and one there. Okay, I can see where this is going. How many do we have here? 3. We can do at least, well, it looks like we can do 3 in each alternate pocket here. So if I can do this, there's 3 in that one, 3 in that one, 3 in that one. We'll see what happens when we go back together here. I like it when without the balls because it's probably going to engage better. It's going to engage these inside and outside rings better with the balls in, but the fact is you don't need the balls in there to be able to do that. Just simple friction will eventually take over. So let's put this ring on. That's not going to work that way. Okay, and then we'll go back to this tool. Just now you hold the whole button assembly together. Just give it a little snug tight there. And we'll put the buttons back on. Doesn't matter which side the buttons go on. You cannot get that backwards. So here we are now. Let's do a little table spin and see what happens. Get the logo nice and straight. It catches the outer. The outer and the inner rings catch much better with the balls in. And you get some nice noise too. So let's give her a good whirl here. Okay, so it's pretty quiet. Huh? Okay. Now if I stop the inside ring, you can just hear it rattling away. You know, I think I'll probably be more of a fan of it without the balls. This doesn't do much for me, and plus that'll be rattling around in your pocket. But that's what they're there for. So we did it. And let me know if you have any questions. I did see this. I think I can at least say I've seen it available in multiple materials, including a clear acrylic, titanium, copper, stainless, zirc, and on at least one of the AliExpress sellers had different finishes. So they had like, this would be like probably a, what's that called? A tumbled finish. So you could get like stainless and tumbled, or you could get stainless in media blasted or sand blasted or whatever. So there's a few different finishes, different options. Stainless is the cheapest. Actually, no, the acrylic one was the cheapest, as it should be, in my opinion. But this one was the next in line for the cheapest. So you know, if you're not into spinners, well, thanks for watching this whole thing. And if you are, Like I said, you can find these on Amazon. Just do a search for dual bearing spinner. And I had said it before in the other video. I don't know if I said it in the beginning of this one yet. Again, you're going to get it in 10. You're going to get it in 10 days, and the advantages are that some people don't want to deal with AliExpress or buying stuff from an overseas company in China and then waiting 20 to 25 days for it to get here. And there's also people that are worried about getting returns or getting refunds. I've always been had no issues with that, really. I mean, I've had to put up some fights, but I usually get a fair shake out of it, not too badly, especially if the seller was in the wrong, and you can prove that to the AliExpress authorities. But let's not get into the whole thing about that. The point is, you can get it on Amazon in about 10 days, so it's a little easier to get a hold of. And it's a nice pairing. This would make a great gift for the fidget lover in your life. Let me know what you thought. If you have any questions, post them. I will be happy to try and answer them. Thanks for watching.